Hi guys, welcome back to Trademanza's weekly series, the stock market recap. In this video, we bring to you all the interesting events from the market over the last week and where Nifty could be headed in the coming few weeks. Before we get started with today's video, do subscribe to our channel, like our videos and switch on notifications, and also download our app to try out our fun games and quizzes to make the stock market a very gamified experience for you. Let's get started with this week's video. As discussed in last week's video, if we took a broader look at Nifty was making a downwards triangle and it looked like it might break down anytime soon. That happened this week itself as Nifty gave a very big breakdown and it looked like the markets were going to fall the entire week. But they took some support at 16,200 and the markets recovered well on Friday. And with the US market performing well on Friday, our markets are expected to do the same on Monday. If we switch to a time frame with some moving averages, we can see that for now there's chance of gap filling up to the levels of 17,000. 16,900 and 17,000 could act as good resistance in the coming few weeks, whereas the support levels would be 16,400 and 16,200. If we switch to an hourly time frame, we can see the same thing. Nifty has been taking some resistance right close to the 20-day moving average, which is the 16,700 level. If this level is broken, then the next resistance would be 16,900 and then the psychological level of 17,000. If we had to take a look at the option chain, we can see that the number of calls sold and the number of puts sold indicate that 17,000 is going to be a very strong resistance with almost 15 lakh calls being sold as compared to the number of puts, which is negligible. If we go down and look at 16,700 and 16,800 levels also, the number of calls sold are almost twice or thrice the number of puts sold, indicating that these levels are going to be resistance levels in the coming week. Moving on to some stock specific news. Hero MotoCorp, the world's largest manufacturer of motorcycles and scooters, and India's very own BPCL, a Fortune Global 500 company, have collaborated to set up charging infrastructure for two-wheeled electric vehicles across the country. Aligned with its vision to be the future of mobility and with its aim to drive the growth of electric vehicles, Hero MotoCorp has become the first automotive original equipment manufacturer to tie up with leading public sector undertaking to set up charging infrastructures across the length and breadth of India. They are saying they have always been at the forefront of propelling the industry and leading it into the future. Once again, as the automotive and mobility sectors are poised to evolve, they are taking strategic steps to lead this evolution. Moving on to the next stock specific news. Reliance Jio's IEX undersea cable system is now going to be landing in Maldives. India's largest mobile operator, Reliance Jio Infocom, will land the multi terabit India Asia Express undersea cable system in Hulhumale, Maldives, according to a statement on Monday. The high capacity and high speed IAX system will connect Hulhumale directly with world's major internet hubs like India and Singapore. Geo's IX project will land in Maldives in collaboration with Ocean Connect Maldives, the statement said. The IEX system originates in Mumbai in the west and connects directly to Singapore with branches including additional landings in India, Malaysia, and Thailand. Moving on to the next stock specific news. Hindalco's Novelis is going to be investing $50 million for a recycling center at its Ulsan aluminum joint venture in South Korea. Hindalco Industries have announced that subsidiary Novelis will be investing approximately 50 million to build a recycling center in South Korea. Fully funded by Novelis, the Ulsan Recycling Center will have an annual casting capacity of 100 kilotons of low carbon sheet ingot. Once online, the company expects the recycling center to reduce the company's carbon emissions by more than 420,000 tons each year. So, this shows that India's metal companies are also now taking steps towards a green future. Moving on to some global news, and the one thing which everyone is talking about, that is Russia's declaration of war on Ukraine. On Thursday, Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin ordered the invasion of Ukraine on Thursday. He stated that it was aimed at the demilitarization of Ukraine and added that Moscow does not plan to occupy Ukraine and has also warned that other countries interfering will have its consequences. Russian President Vladimir Putin declared war on Ukraine on Thursday, adding that Moscow does not plan to occupy it. Moments after Russian President declared war on Ukraine, large explosions were witnessed in the embattled country Kiev and Kharkiv regions. We decided to launch a special military action aimed at demilitarization and denazification of Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin also stated that clashes between Russian and Ukraine forces are inevitable and called on Ukraine service members to lay down their arms and go home. In the model world, no matter what the condition may be, declaring war on any country is not alright. UK has announced that they will introduce sanctions against Russia's President Vladimir Putin and Foreign Ministry Sergei Lavrov immediately. According to the UK's sanctions list, they will face asset freezes, a measure also being imposed by the EU and US, but not a travel ban. The announcement comes after Russia invaded Ukraine with tanks since entering the capital Kiev. The death toll is expected to keep on increasing as, according to latest updates, the battle has now reached the streets of Kiev and tens of thousands of people are being asked to abandon their homes as Russia and Ukraine look to go out on a fully scaled war. With Russia and Ukraine's war becoming the primary focus of the world, there is one thing which a lot of people were worried about and they have forgotten to pay attention to it. That is the market's view of how the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates. Due to the global geopolitical tensions, the market has adjusted its view of how the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates. Events on the past week, including statements from multiple Fed officials and to a lesser extent geopolitical turmoil, have convinced markets that the first rate move will just be a quarter percentage point. This is somewhat good news because the markets are actually trying to factor in on almost a half percent increase, but now it is expected that the rates are going to be increased only 0.25%. Still, JP Morgan Chase chief economist Bruce Caseman has said last week that he expects the Fed to hike at each of its next 9 meetings. The market pricing has pulled back regarding the pace of increases, with expectations now for a 25 basis point increase starting in March and to go down well until 2023. So, guys, that's it for this week's market recap. Stay tuned to our channel for interesting videos such as this one.